I never planned on being an actress or Wonder Woman, but everything just happened, and I am grateful and happy and in love with what I do. On a shelf above my computer are 5 letters that spell out WRIT, just in case I forget why I'm there. I also have Wonder Woman paraphernalia from when I wrote 5 issues of the comic, and pictures of my husband and kids. I want to play Wonder Woman really badly. I want them to make the movie of Wonder Woman, and I want to play Wonder Woman so bad. That'd be really fun. Lynda Carter played Wonder Woman and was one of the first female superheroes. It gives me more of an encouragement that we can be strong and can do whatever a guy can do. I sang in bands as a kid. In high school, I was already on the road doing a single, and that's no fun. Then came Wonder Woman and children. When I was a kid, I thought I was Wonder Woman. I know I should be Wonder Woman. They need an international actress, a fresh face. They need a woman who's tall, athletic and dark-haired, and an actress who can play the part. That's me. So, I'm coming to LA. To work hard and meet the industry. And if Wonder Woman comes together, I want it. I represent the Wonder Woman of the new world. Wonder Woman is most definitely a feminist, or a humanist, in no uncertain terms. Her prime goal in life is to teach peaceful coexistence and equality. Wonder Woman is very much her own character. She thinks big. The 1970s, Wonder Woman was sort of a kitsch thing. It was a very specific time for that, and it's hard to modernize something like that. Wonder Woman was on TV when I was growing up, and I knew Lynda Carter was part Latina. It gave me a great sense of pride. I love dressing up in superhero outfits, and in fact, when I dress up as Wonder Woman, I actually think that I'm more powerful. Wonder Woman is a lot of fun to draw. I'm not a really big comic book person. I know the typical ones, Spider-Man and Wonder Woman and Storm and that stuff. But don't quiz me, because I'm not good at things like that. I sing because I love it. People may come to my shows because they are curious about Wonder Woman, but I hope they return because they enjoy my singing. Wonder Woman was my favorite superhero as a little girl. I still have a huge girl crush on Wonder Woman. I think she's amazing. Let's be realistic, 90% of superheroes are male. Personally, I prefer Superman, Batman and Spider-Man to Wonder Woman. Not that I don't like female superheroes, but watching male superheroes gives me a high. I had read the Wonder Woman comic books when I was a child. I was much more interested in those than I was in Betty and Veronica, even though I liked those as well. What I know of Steve Trevor is everything that I learned from Wonder Woman, the television series with Lynda Carter. And I don't remember much. I do remember his uniform, though. So many heroes are driven by destiny. Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, they were all chosen and born to heroism. Even with Batman, it doesn't feel like Bruce could do anything else. His whole life was leading him to become the Dark Knight. Wonder Woman is much more than a cartoon character. She's fighting for truth and justice and the secret self that exists in all women and girls. There's a moral fiber and a goodness about her that all women have. Wonder Woman is lame. She flies around in an invisible jet, but she's not invisible. I don't get it. Wonder Woman is a fighter, better than most, but it's what she fights for that is important. It's her vision of a future of peace and acceptance that makes her the right ambassador for everyone. What's so lovely about Wonder Woman is yes, she has the strength and power of a goddess, but she has the heart and mind of a human. So I play her as I think a woman like me would act in the situations she's going through. You treat her as a normal woman who happens to be fantastic and almighty. Wonder Woman isn't Spider-Man or Batman. She doesn't have a town, she has a world. That was more interesting to me than a kind of contained, rote superhero franchise. I've always wanted to be Wonder Woman, of course. She had the greatest costume. There is a part of Wonder Woman inside me and inside every woman, kind of that secret self that women share. We are all caretakers, giving birth, caring for our children and companions and loved ones. I love that duality of Wonder Woman, that she both wants peace and means peace, but when push comes to shove and someone needs to be put down like a dog, that's what she would be willing to do. I allow myself to not feel the need to be some sort of Wonder Woman. You can't do everything at once and tear your hair out when you miss your baby using a potty for the first time. Although my son was obviously very sad that his mom was not there on his big day. I always admired Wonder Woman and the Incredible Hulk, but I don't know if I'd be a very convincing Hulk. People always want me to talk about Wonder Woman, so I do. I would love to play Wonder Woman. I have the abilities and the strength because I am definitely not the typical Hollywood actress. I believe in Wonder Woman and the true spirit of Wonder Woman, and I wanted to tell that story. I didn't want to make her an alt version of Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman is a very difficult character to crack, more difficult than Superman, who is also more difficult than Batman. Also, a lot of people in Hollywood believe that it's hard to do a big action movie with a female lead. I happen to disagree with that. I also had Wonder Woman underoos that I really like. I actually wore them as an outfit to school. For me, it was important Wonder Woman wouldn't be a goody two-shoes. She has a little bit of attitude, and when she fights, she has a smirk on her face. I didn't want her to be polished. I want people to relate to her. I'll tell you what it is, just why Wonder Woman worked, or Bionic Woman, or any of those, really. It was because it wasn't about brawn, it was about brains. And yes, she happened to be beautiful, she happened to be kind of extraordinary in some way, but she wasn't a guy. Wonder Woman isn't even American, she's an Amazon princess. My absolute favorite growing up was Super Friends. The assemblage of so many mighty heroes in one place was, to me, mind-blowing. It was Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman, and then sometimes Hawkman and some other, lesser heroes. I don't agree with beauty contests. I did it one time. It wasn't embarrassing being Wonder Woman, it was embarrassing walking around on stage in a bikini. It was ridiculous, stupid, and humiliating. I wasn't a huge fan of superhero movies before I watched Wonder Woman. That was a really cool film, I really like all the stunts. All-Star Wonder Woman would get worked on in what is laughably referred to as my spare time. I just ended up with less and less time to devote to it. Eventually, we all realized that it was taking forever, so we just all agreed to hold off on it, till the time was right to do it properly. Well, I still have a contract, DC never tore it up. It's truly an honor to get to write Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and all those great people, but when you can take something that's not well thought of and make it something that people do think highly of, that's much more gratifying, I think. There's the 7-year-old me that pretended to be Wonder Woman running around the schoolyard. Like, what an incredible thing to imagine that when the bully shows up or the villain, you would be strong enough to do something about it. But, also, you look like Lynda Carter while you're doing it, like, oh, my God. I'd love to do a superhero movie, like a remake of Wonder Woman. I find Jessica Jones a much more interesting character to write for than Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is so noble and heroic, and I don't find that as interesting as one who's really damaged and flawed and has post-traumatic stress disorder. There weren't a lot of action roles growing up, there were a few, maybe, like Wonder Woman, but then it wasn't real action. I can easily come up with 10 really iconic stories/trade paperbacks for Superman, Batman, others. Name me 10 equally big, iconic Wonder Woman stories. Much harder. That ain't the character's fault, that isn't sexism, that's just not servicing the character. I think one of the major differences between Wonder Woman and Jessica Jones is that Wonder Woman is iconic and much better known, so you get into a lot of ridiculous expectations. Like what's her costume going to look like? Well, nobody knows who Jessica Jones is, except for fangirls and boys. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.